Yo, what is up, everybody, and welcome on into another Aegis Rolldown podcast. I'm TheRealHoneyBear with Lorence, always here together unless he leaves me for Summit, but today he is here. So welcome on in, guys. If you guys never been a part of this is our weekly Aegis podcast. Talk about all things TFT, talk about all things Aegis if we can, and just hang out, goof around, and have a fun time. But this week is sponsored. Kind of sponsored, because we're not done with donations till midnight. Is that correct?
Yep, correct. Yeah, we still have that command there in the chat.
Yep. So to rate love on our arms, you guys probably already know the whole spiel, but an amazing place. Make sure you check it out. Even if you can't donate, raise awareness, talk to people about it. And if you can donate, thank you very much. People desperately need your donations to help them with, through a lot of different, things, depression, suicidal thoughts, etc. So make sure you donate to that. That is our sponsor for the entire week of Aegis for everything we do here. So big shout out to them for all they do, and shout out to the community for hitting our $1,000 goal. You guys actually crushed it.
Yeah, we destroyed it. Shout out to the TFT community in general. We'll get into it a little later, but man, particularly everyone I'm sure that's here helped out with that, so really appreciative.
Yeah, super well done. But going from there, Lorence, tell us about yourself. Who the heck are you, man? I mean, everybody kind of knows we're at episode 12.
Yes, sir.
But who the heck are you?
I am a loser at rock paper scissors, but I tried my best.
I don't believe it.
I made it 2-1 every single time, but I'm extremely bad at rock, paper, scissors, so that's there for us. Play some TFT every once in a while, and also sometimes run tournaments. That's pretty fun.
Every once in a while.
Yeah, I'm sure everybody has at least seen those occur, so hopefully you also know who I am at this point. But always glad to introduce myself, and who the heck are you?
I am the TFT intern. That's basically all I get. I show up, I do things. I'm whatever I'm told to do on that day. But Lorence, I realize, I know I'm throwing you on the spot here, but you haven't talked about this live yet. How was Summit, man?
Oh, Summit was...
Yeah, I just realized. I'm like, wait, yeah, you weren't here, so...
Yeah, no, I swear I've been asked this question, like, 15 times in the past week, but I mean that's good because people are like, how was it? And it's like they're interested in, like, should I go next time, should I do this? So I think it's great people keep asking me, even though it's the same canned answer it feels like every time. But now it's going to be in front of everyone, so hopefully this helps out with people knowing. I had a pretty good time. I think if you've got the resources to be able to make it there, I think you should go to those events. It was really special being able to just be around, to caveat, to be around like it doesn't happen very often that you're just in an event or around a convention of sort of like TFT people, and having that occur was just really cool. Like I got to just talk to people about TFT all day while like eating pizza. They brought in some pizza and we just sat there at a table eating it, and like just talking about TFT, watching the stream on Twitch, shooting the shiz, that sort of thing. So it was great. I got to meet the devs, got pictures with a giant pengu while I was doing a
awesome.
Nice little dab. That
was awesome.
Yeah, got to go do the pengu dab, as ironic as it is. But yeah, it was, I don't know, it was like, and being able to see a couple people I'm sure that's in here. Yeah, at the Pizza Disparage. Yeah, I got to see Ramen Blitz. Shout out to Ramen Blitz. I got to hang out with you pretty much the entire time. That was just pretty fun after knowing you for quite a while now. Got to see the Shy Guy. Skylar Weiss was also there. Hopefully I'm not going to forget anybody. I'm sure I am.
I mean, you met so many people, it's like you can't shout out everybody, right?
Right, yeah. Those ones, like, of course, Purple Pouring. Sorry, I almost forgot that in Rainbow Meowie. But almost forgot that. I spent the time with them.
Shoot, there was this boy guy you met. I don't remember. Probably not important.
Yeah, probably not very important. Yeah. Or even this. I think there's some like dog guy. I think I met some dog.
Yes. I can't think of the name, but yeah, dog. I remember.
Yeah, dog. Something dog. Dog something. Can't remember.
Up dog? No.
Yeah, I think it's up dog. Overdog. That's what it was.
Overdog. That's it.
Yes, the classic. But yeah, getting to see them, I got to.
More dog.
I'm big into like I'm not huge into game design, but like I like the concept of like what makes a game fun. Kind of getting nitty gritty with it, not as much into like streamers and stuff like that. So there was a streamer meet and greet for most of that, but I went and just was like, you guys can have fun with that. And I went in line for the dev meet and greet and got my poster signed by the 4 devs that were there. That's all I needed. It felt really cool. And there was a little bit there for everybody. It was, again, I was there the entire day, and I live and breathe this sort of stuff, obviously. So it was a little more exceptional for me. Just like I wanted to be there all day.
For sure.
And I flew in, of course. I flew into LA to go here and stayed there. So obviously that was like the highlight of my weekend. That's why I was there. But yeah, it was. I would say it was well worth my time.
Definitely.
Again, maybe I'm a little biased because this is just what I do. And being able to see so many people after interacting with them all for so long, right? But yeah, I don't know. I want to see you all there next time if there's an event like this again in the near future. So yeah.
For sure.
Anything you got to point out for it, or like you got to see?
No, I mean, I think the biggest thing for me, the coolest thing about Summit was, and I share this sentiment with like a lot of people in the Discord too, of like, I don't know who won, and I really like that. I still don't know who won, and I think that's awesome. Like, I watched so much of the event. I had it on the entire time it was on, so it was always on a monitor of mine. And I have no clue who won. I have no clue. Yeah,
I mean, I was there. I was like, it was like half a block down from me, and I'm like, I mean, obviously I wasn't in the studio, but it's like they're right there, and I'm just watching the events on the screens. But I was just talking to people for so much of the time. I was like, I don't know who's winning. I don't know who's got it. Whatever, doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. It was more about the spectacle and the fun of it, and like. Even some of my favorite moments were watching the streams beforehand too. Watching Spicy Appies play, whatever with Mort Dog there and Gangly hanging out, and insert pro here who just happened to walk on stage.
I don't know if you said it, but boys were just sitting there the whole time next to him, backseating him.
Yeah. Or like I'll flip on a stream and I'll be like, this is Gangly playing on. His stream, or not Gangly stream, and I'm like, oh, that's kind of fun. Or like Mort Dog took like the first 2 rounds on Appy's game, and I'm like, that's pretty fun. Like, just trolled him for 2 rounds. So I'm like, this is great. So yeah, I mean, I love that. I love that you could just be watching the main broadcast and listening to the guys on the couch hanging out, and all of a sudden, boom, there's Rainplosion coming in to give her 2 cents worth, and here's whomever else coming in to give their 2 cents worth, just coming out of the woodworks. And I thought that was always fun, having that at their disposal, that it wasn't just like, hey, let's chat amongst ourselves, but it's like, hey, if this question popped into your head and Frodan knows the answer, but he's over there eating nachos, like, just go grab Frodan.
Yeah,
like he can walk up and answer it, like he's there. So
yeah, no, it was pretty cool to just like they like all since they just walked up, because you're so used to like these individualistic streams where not everyone's together, and even when there are tournaments, nobody's there hanging out, right? So they just kind of like walk over and they're like, oh, what's up? It's like these 3 people that normally are in a broadcast together or whatever. Or they're just separate entities almost. Like everyone's on the broadcast and then the players are playing at home. And it's like, no, they're on the couches opposite each other now.
Everyone's here.
That was really cool.
Yeah, 100%. But I think we're kind of gonna slip on into. I mean, we can keep this talk going. But we're kind of gonna slip on into, some meta talk, some news. I mean, it's pretty much news as it is. With Summit being over. The big tournament for set 8, as it will, just ended. We will be looking at Worlds is kind of the next big tournament. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna be honest, I don't even remember what the tournament's called. Off the top of your head, do you know what the first one's called? I
can't remember what they're all. I can find them real quick actually. Because I'm gonna be. It's funny you mentioned that. So I guess we can drop the big news here too. Of I'm going to be adminning every single Giant Slayer event. So yeah, so that was huge news for me. I almost, even now, it's just feeling like very surreal. You can tell because it's just like, been doing this for so long, and then like they just kind of like dropped it, and like, hey, sent me a message, and I'm like, oh yeah, okay, they finally contacted me. Sounds good. Maybe they'll have me for like the first event. Nope, they just sent the entire list of like, can you do all of these events? I'm like, probably. I think so.
Hey.
Yeah, and so I send it there, and you all are like, shut up, Lorence, go and do it. We'll get it covered.
Yeah,
so
yeah, I do remember that conversation. You're like, do I take some of these? I'm like, you take all of them.
Yeah, take them all.
Take them all. We'll figure it out.
That was just, yeah, I can like look at the DMs right here again. They're just like, yeah, do you want to come on to do an admin for their these? And they just drop literally all these dates. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 events over the next for set 7 or set 8 and 8.5. I don't know. Yeah. And to get back to the thing with that, though, is Defender Cup is the first one on the January 21st.
Yeah. So that's going to be hype. That's actually like the next big event type deal. Even looking at like, our ACL, AML, AAL, it starts that weekend? Same weekend? Same weekend.
It'd be the second weekend. So second week. So at least I'll be there for like the start.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah, actually, no, we've got somebody here that I actually got to hang out with a lot of the time for Summit. We said we'd continue the conversation a little bit. Yeah, we'll shelve this for a little bit. We'll probably still talk about it because, again, it's a big deal. But let's bring in Ramen Blitz. Ramen Blitz was hanging out with me most of the time that I was there that day. It was kind of funny. I'm like sitting there, and it just we're like messaging back and forth, like trying to find each other at the Summit, and at the meet and greet or whatever. And he walks up to me. He's like, "Hello," and I'm like, "Oh gosh, this is the guy." How did that feel, Ramen?
It was pretty cool. I'm pretty sure I walked past you like 3 times thinking,
yeah.
Lawrence? I can't tell. I'm gonna just walk by and DM.
Yeah, you don't want to say hello, yeah.
A bit scary, but yeah, it was super, super fun. Like the closeness of the TFT community, especially during Summit, it was just kind of amazing to be a part of, especially since like I've had like a taste of what that was like in Melee, and this felt exactly like that. Like in the early days of Melee, where everybody's just everyone's booling, we're just hanging out. It was really cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's kind of funny too, where sometimes, like you said, you've never seen them before. Like you kind of had seen me, like on the podcasts, obviously, but I had never seen you, or I did on a couple of your streams, but like it was still like, I don't know for sure. Like it could be someone else that looks just like him. There's evil twins here.
Like, who actually knows?
Yeah, who actually knows? So it's kind of funny. Like but it was like we're still like friends. Like we're still like it wouldn't be like that awkward to like walk up and like be like, hey, like are you this person? It's like, oh yeah, we don't. Both of us don't know who each other are. Mm-hmm. So it's funny.
There's like a very little barrier to just talk to each other, just because we've interacted so much, and TFT is a thing that we both play. So
yeah. And how did that feel? Because like you got to talk to Shy Guy a couple times too while we were there. So it's just like being able to like just talk to people like that. Like how often does that happen, right?
Previous to this like set of in-houses for this set during PvE, I talked to pretty much nobody in the TFT community, save like you guys for organizing the tournaments. So it's kind of like opens my eyes to like the community aspect of the game. So it's really cool, especially when like, I talk to Shy Guy a lot. Oh my god, that's Big Bro Shy Guy. Yo, what's up? What's the tech?
Literally Big Bro. That guy Loki is kind of tall.
Yeah, he's giant. Yeah, so I was like,
hello.
Homie looks like 6'4" or something. I don't actually know. I'm only 5'10".
Wait, who is
outing myself?
Who's
Shy Guy?
Shy Guy super tall?
Yeah.
My goodness.
Or like, at least it feels pretty tall. Like I'm 5'10", and he was definitely like nearing a full head taller than me.
Wait, Shy Guy, you in chat? Gotta know how tall Shy Guy is. I don't think he is, but continue.
I'm gonna add him in
for derailing.
No problem. Let's see if we can get him. Shy Guy.
The only thing that could have made Summit better is if Expired didn't flake and keep
Yeah,
showing up.
Flakes in chat right now.
Expired.
Here, let's drop a poll.
Rumbliss, just out of pure curiosity, and I hope you have no idea, but do you know who won Summit?
Oh, clue.
Okay, yeah, I'll say don't look it up because I don't want to know.
Yeah.
It's just like, well, I do. Eventually I'll figure it out, maybe. But I just want to know like how many people don't actually know because I love it.
It's kind of interesting with how fun the event itself was. Nobody actually cared about the result, just the actual experience of it itself.
100%. 100%. It's a close race actually. It's expired a rat flake. It's tight. Yes is at
I'm
2.
gonna have to
50,
endorse
50.
the yes option.
Oh, yes hops in front.
Yes hops in front of yes. Yes is just taking it away. I voted yes. Expired, you would just vote yes.
I love doing votes like this where it's just the same thing. I don't know why.
That's
yeah,
funny.
no, it would have been fun. Like I know sometimes it's hard to get there, or just like timing wise. Like I totally understand. Like you might have had something going on that day. It's just difficult to gather everyone like that, which is why it was kind of special too to be able to do it. And just make it down. Like I just happened to make it down. Like if it was during, it'd have been a lot harder if it was during school. But like that was like right after my school had finished, so I was like, what else am I doing? I guess I'm just gonna come on down. And I love LA. Like I used to live in LA for a little bit. Lived in San Diego for a little bit. So I was really glad and happy to visit. Yeah. I even got to do a couple other things. So I think another thing I can highlight about going to Summit or a thing like Summit is you get to visit like a new place if you haven't been there before, or come back to a place I got to go back and visit the SoFi Stadium that the Chargers and Rams play in for the NFL, and that was really cool. That stadium is huge. It just happened to work out really well. Like we were doing stuff on Saturday, and then on Sunday I got to go into the game and just hang out there for a bit. So you get to do stuff like that and potentially even with people that you now just met or were friends with for a while.
Yeah.
So getting to go to a place like that is pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure. Do you guys think I guess on the outside looking in, I didn't know how cool the event was going to be, right? Like I think it exceeded my expectations of what they did. I thought it was awesome. But also I wonder how much better they can make it if they're going to try to make it better. And I hope they do. And I hope if this continues every single year. I don't actually know if it's going to. But I imagine it's going to. So, and I hope I hope more people can break into that, I guess, break through that barrier and be a part of it. I think that would be awesome. There were so many pro players. I would have loved to see, some more influencers. I would have loved to see Skara, Box, people like that make their way in. I don't know, even somebody like Trick2G, somebody make their way in that is like Trick2G's playing TFT right now. Like that would be cool to get to see them, hang out and make it there. But also, I would love to see them partnering with some, I guess, lower talent, if you will, or some unknown names.
Right.
Big name, partner with unknown name. Get them out there. Let them know. Yeah. Like,
even if you're
not a pro, why
can't?
A
little bit, you can, even if you're scared of like them not like being like pulling viewers, it's really good to like do a mix like that and have like somebody that's got the viewership like Soju, then mix them with somebody who's got 50 viewers,
Yep. Build it.
Like that's just mix it, and that's going to be a great combo. I'm going to cover a couple things here, but I'm also going to ask Ramen Blitz if he's got any things that you think could be improved upon or changed. But when I was there, I was talking to Boyces a little bit because he was the one actually adminning the tournament. And afterwards, he went and messaged me and said that he was talking to one of the guys who I don't know if I'm at liberty to talk about too much of this, so I don't want to go too far, but like they're talking in depth about what improvements they can actually make. So I think it's going in the right direction. I think the people in charge are people that we want to be there, and they care about the game. So I'm excited for that. One of my suggestions was to have a couple more games. So like there was to do the stamps. Like one of the things we got to do there was have like a 5 stamp card that you went to different stations and got filled out. You went and got a picture, and picked up a couple things like this. Let's see if I can show it. It's just a honey grizzle.
Well, those are like the Japanese shrines, right? Like you go to the Japanese shrines, you get your stamp, you move on to the next one. You try to get shrine to shrine. Like that's a thing that's worldwide, or widely known as doing something like this. So
yeah, but so like we did that when we were there. But some of the games, and I'll be honest, were like low-key kind of lame. Like one of them was just Connect 4, like straight up. Like I mean, like it's something like the people can do themselves just to interact with each other, to potentially, if you're coming there alone, come and play Connect 4 with somebody. Like obviously it had its like merit, but I was thinking like if you put a little more thought into it, maybe you can add in a couple more games that are like really like more TFT related. I think I'll see if I can find something that I'd sent to who was it, to Boys's, and see if there's like some other thing that's a little more TFT related, because like there's stuff you can kind of like tap into, that people just enjoy about the game. Just like all TFT players love RNG, or love RNG, but they like enjoy playing the game with RNG. So maybe we do something to do with that. Did you have anything like that, Ramen Blitz, of like things you think could potentially be improved upon, or something that stood out to you, even that you really liked?
For sure, the games could definitely be improved. Like you said, it was just Connect 4 and a memory game. Like I imagine like something more specialized towards the game itself. Like even off the top of my head, like here is one board state versus this is another board state. Which one would win? And then you would, I guess, compete based on who would get the most one right. I don't know. That's just off the top of the dome. And I was also pretty outspoken on how, similar to like shit like Smash Summit or any other con, there should be like an open qualifier or something like that for a LAN. It's like a TFT tournament. So
are you saying just in general, like not necessarily tied to Summit, but
for TFT Summit in general, but really any TFT event that would be run.
Well, I mean,
should be an open qualifier for like any attendee.
I wanna drop that, or like tackle that for a second, just because they had so much on the main broadcast that wasn't the tournament, and I think that is just another area that they could be like, hey, we're gonna stream this finals match of literally just people who showed up, right? Like all people who come can play if they would like to. I think that's awesome, and for our sport, it's so easy. You can just play mobile. Everyone has mobile. Like you don't have to provide anything for people. If they want to bring a laptop, they can. If they don't, play on mobile. I think that would be awesome. And then computers can be provided for the last lobby or whatever. Or like, hey, invite them to go play on the main stage. Invite them back there. Be like, hey, if you are one of the top 8 people who showed up to our event, come meet all the pros, hang out with them for a couple hours, play your final match, and see ya.
Yeah, like think about how hype that would be, Ramen, if you like, because you're still a pretty good player yourself. Like in any given day, like you could just win like a qualifier event, quote unquote, to be that player that gets to go and jump into one of these games that's happening. Like that would have been so hype, right?
That would have been.
For sure. Like the raffle system that they did for the hyper roll with Mortdog wasn't bad. Like it's definitely a tall order, especially if they were like, let's say you multiply the amount of people who attended by like 3x, and that's like being conservative with how big these could get. Like it's definitely a tall order to set up, so a raffle is fine. But if it was like an open thing where everyone could play, that'd be the best case scenario.
Yeah. How do you think, like, because we could even have, like, I know mobile isn't the greatest way to play, but it's, we could make it happen, like set up some tournament or set up some stuff maybe beforehand of like everyone who's attending gets to try and play into this or something. I don't know. I'm just trying to like spitball of something, like some way to like be able to play one of like just 2 games with the people that are already there. Like that would be, I feel like that would make people want to show up, right? Like,
I'm gonna pause just for a second. Maloney, we've discussed this on a previous podcast before. Actually, there was a simulator, a board simulator. So let's put a pin in that in chat for a second. We'll talk about that during the question and answer. Just because Lawrence and I already have, I guess, pretty thought out opinions on the simulator. So because it happened, it's gone. It got banned. So we'll happily rehash that. Lawrence, is that cool with you?
Oh yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So put a pin in that for a second. And then we'll rehash that out at question and answer, because I think it's a really good topic of conversation. So, anyways, continue. Apologize.
No problem. Let's see.
Yes
Where was
did
I
win,
going?
by the way.
Who?
Yes just won in the polls. Is expired a rat
Rest in
flake.
peace to yes. Only 2
yes,
votes.
78% said yes. Whereas the other 22% said yes. So pretty big numbers there for yes.
I'm loving some yeses. Actually, while I've got you here though, Ramen, do you have anything to say on like the set so far? Like, because we've all been playing obviously,
Yep.
but you yourself, I'm assuming, have played a couple games at least, right?
Bit more than a couple. All I know is that this rat cat needs to stop one-shotting everything on my board. But other than that, I'm having a lot of fun. I feel like it clicked. Finally, Masters. I'm out of this diamond hellhole.
Well
so
done.
I'm personally loving this set right now.
Yeah, big well done. So we're 2 weeks in your Masters. That's awesome, especially because we're still a month away from the first qualifier event, or 3 weeks away from the start of that. So that's huge that you have 3 weeks to find some LP, learn the meta, not have to worry about dropping back to diamonds. Like, big win.
For sure. In terms of like in my head, the set itself, despite like 2-1 hero augments being sometimes questionable, it feels very flexible. Like I don't necessarily build the same board for other than if I'm rerolling like for 2 games. So it just feels like you're free to be as creative as you please. And I feel like that's really fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's something that they've touched on exceptionally well with this set. I don't know how much hero augments have actually played into that. I'm not like that big brained with it. But I feel like the units that they have is I can go, these little packages, I can put these in here. I can put these 2 units, not just a splash unit, but I can put these pairs of people and units, champions, into my comp. And that's not what I normally do. And I am not a flex player by any means. And being able to like see that sometimes and go, that's what I should probably do here, feels like that's just them making this set exceptionally well, and that it's very intuitive of like what you should put in. I really need to put in Aegis here. I really need to, maybe I can slot in a bruiser or mascots, etc. Really feels like that's there.
I think threats definitely add to that as well.
Yes.
Other than this obnoxious Vel'Koz unit, the rest of them are just great to just slot in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like just dumping them in, and especially something like obviously you want for MR you put Cho'Gath, and then aim armor you put Rammus. But I really like actually Zac, where you just put it out and you basically get a free ZZ Rot.
Huge. I love Zac as a unit.
Yeah, you just toss him out there, like you in any comp, you just throw out a Zac, and it feels good. And I think that covers a lot of like the problems with like TFT as a game. And we can all agree that there are general problems, right, with TFT. Like there are things that just happen, and it's really, really hard to solve them. And that kind of like pushes that out, because you can just toss in units like threats, like you were mentioning. Obviously, Vel'Koz almost feels like an FU threat unit, because like what does Vel'Koz do? It's like it's an anti-carry threat. Thanks. Like,
for sure.
Like what is it doing?
You didn't like Rengar? Here's Vel'Koz.
Yeah. Goodbye, Rengar.
I love Vel'Koz way more than Rengar.
Sure,
it's
you
like Rengar's one-shotting me if I'm not like finishing the tank, no matter the items. But like at least Vel'Koz, if it doesn't have items, it's not one-shotting me. So I'm happy.
Other than that damn cat. The only real gripe I have about this set is targeting. It feels a little janky, especially with
Yeah.
Hacker. But other than that, I'm having a lot of fun.
I think, and I could be wildly incorrect on this, but I feel like there's targeting bugs. Like I truly think there's
so.
targeting bugs, and I think it's unit specific too. I think
one thing
Hacker
did
Zed,
notice-
I think, has huge problems with it.
they did fix some of the problems with that, but there are some that I swear still persist.
Yeah.
Like there was the one with just General Hacker who had like the bugging where I think it auto targeted the people in the corner or whatever it was.
Yep.
But they did fix that on the B patch, but it still feels jank. One thing I did notice that today, I don't know if this is something that has always happened and I'm just an idiot, but I had blue buff Gangplank and he would not fire right away. He would have to walk up, auto, and then he will fire, even though he's full mana.
Yes, I've seen that.
Yeah, so I was like, why is I swear it's supposed to just go off, right? It's happened
here's
in
your
previous
problem.
sets.
You play Shojin, you don't play blue buff, so you're just wrong. But not looking at how wrong you are, yeah, it should interact like that.
Correct. It was not my optimal choice. I went 8th that game, so who would have thought?
I asked this question last week. We talked about this last week, I believe. Lawrence, I don't think we've talked about it, and Ramen, you and I definitely haven't talked about it. Is this the best set opening ever?
To me, in my experience, well, I have 7.5 and 7 on the dome. I can't think before that too much.
Yep.
And those openings hurt me.
Correct.
Yeah.
At least the only real like bad thing about this set opening was hacker targeting, but even then, like
that was
it
like,
wasn't nominal,
bad.
man.
you could low-key even kind of play around it a little bit too.
Yeah.
Right? It's assassins. Like you just clump up your people if you know you're going to be facing them. Like clump up forehead. Like obviously you still shouldn't need to do that, but if that's the only problem that like shows up on the first patch, I'm taking that every day of the week. So my answer is like I think this. And again to give context, I've played every single set. Actually like a decent amount, most of them. I think there's only 1 or 2 sets, like half sets, that I've ever played less than 100 games, which isn't a ton, but like I've played every single set, and I think that this is easily my favorite opening at the very least. I don't know if it's for sure like the best, but or like in terms of bugginess or just balance, but it feels like it's great. It feels really good. It feels like we're mid set almost already, right?
Yes, that is a great way to put it. Actually, it feels like mid set, whereas like I don't know if I've ever had that feeling going into a set before of like, wow, like things feel somewhat balanced. Like I feel like I can play a lot of different comps. I feel like I can flex. Like I'm not the greatest flex player, but I can flex a little bit. Like at least like I can flex some units, I can flex some items. And that feels good. That feels really good. The fact that like I can hit Zach, I can play Zach. If I need Echo, I can play Echo over Zach. Like, I can mix and match units based on relative strength of the lobby, and I think that is extremely important. And you don't really see that in opening sets or opening patches.
Yeah, and I don't know how much they did it or how much this has to do with it. And I almost would feel like it's the opposite of what should have happened. But hero augments, like being able to slot in and like just be able to like make things feel like continually different. I actually I'm still like not the biggest fan of it because I would rather just be playing the game and not have to worry about I have to keep this unit on or even think about taking them off. Because at least like the first like the 1 or 2 cost ones, like once I hit late game, I can just take it out for a 2-star 5 cost. And it's like that's obvious, but like a 3-star or a 3 cost, it's like I don't want to take that out. It just feels kind of So I think it's something I still have a little bit of a gripe about. I wish I would be curious of how like I'm curious actually what you think of this, Ramen. Like how does a hero augment kind of like change how you're feeling about this set? Do you think that you would have rather had there just no hero augments, or do you think it makes it nice to have anyway?
In a sense, like a lot of the time a hero augment can give you direction. And that's kind of a really, really nice feeling. Like, because you can play super Gigaflex and then just be really flexible with your items, then hit like either a 3 cost or 4 cost hero augment, and then like, oh, I kind of know what I want to do here, and just kind of run with it. And I feel like that level of comfort is really appealing to me. The only time I dislike them is when 2-1 gives you a really bad option.
Yeah,
But other than that, I think I like them.
yeah. One thing that I've actually can point out with that is that they're not catered on the first one, so you could actually have like a decent opening, and you only have so many slots on your starting board. Like you have 4 to 5 slots, sometimes 3 at that point, but depending on if you're wanting to level up. And you're like, oh, I have a perfect 3-thing opener, and then you get offered some random crap that you don't want. You're like, okay, well, like, maybe I should re-roll it, and you're like, okay, I also hate these. And though that doesn't happen every game, and sometimes you get something you want, and you don't have to play around only that for the entire game. I feel anyway. It still feels terrible to have that happen, right?
So
it is criminal when you get a Renekton pair and a Blitzcrank pair, and then your augments are all defenders.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, something like that.
So like, this is just my personal opinion on the 70 games or whatever I've played. But it feels like it's a meta read thing of I don't know if we fully figured out how strong specific units are and how much we can actually play around them versus how much we don't have to play around them. Like, is there a world where you don't even have to ever, like, period, the whole game, play your 1 to 2 cost hero augment unit? Like, is that a world? I think it could be. I just don't know if we've figured it out yet.
It certainly is. Like, for example, you take the Rocket Grab Blitzcrank augment, you're not running that stage 5 or something, right? The warping part is specifically when the 2-1 hero augment is, I think, a 2 or 3 cost, especially the 3 cost.
Yeah,
because
I've seen that.
It's really power warping, and if you have to drop it, you're just kind of down what should be a really strong augment. Where in 3-2 and 4-2, those hero augments are tailored to your traits, which makes them fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree.
I guess the question I'd put on that then is, in your opinion, would you just remove 2-1 hero augments? Like, it changes and warps the game, right? As in, if you took that out, but would you take it out?
I'm fine with them if they're only the 1-cost ones, but maybe that makes the pool too small to where, okay, everyone is just gonna reroll now that we have a 2-1 hero augment. It also kind of, I don't know, some of these are just kind of neat. Like, yeah, you're a rat, but having Rocket Grab on your Blitzcrank is kind of funny.
For sure. I just, another thought here, like, I guess, like, I think it's more based on, like, if you get a trash hero augment at stage 2, like, just go for a lose streak. I think lose streak this meta is kind of fine as long as you're econing. I may be wrong. Ramen, please tell me if I'm wrong, because you're better than I am. I feel like it's
big underground enjoyer, let me tell you.
Yeah, I think it's kind of fine. And so if you get a bad one, just work your board around that to just start lose streaking. And if you get a good one, win streak and transition that into something else. I think that's obviously a perfect world, but I think that's kind of the thought process behind why there's 2-1 hero augments. Just in my opinion, unless they're hard doubling down on reroll comps, which it seems like they're actually pretty happy with, keeping 1 or 2 reroll comps. But unless there's more that pop up, that just seems to be what it is. It's win streak or lose streak based on the augment, and you just gotta adapt to that.
I don't particularly hate 2-1 hero augments, like, allowing you to reroll if you get a carry one. I just dislike the immediate spike that super gives you because of, like, oh, okay, well, through all of stage 3, because you hit all of your 3 stars, you can go ahead and just hit everybody for 20.
Yeah. Lawrence, you got anything else before we kind of slide on to the weeklies?
Nothing much else. One thing I'll quick shout out, then it'll be a good segue here into the weeklies. Thank you very much for showing up and participating in our charity event this week, Ramen. That was pretty fun to have you there, of course. I had a lot of fun, and I'm sure everybody else, it sounded like everybody had a great fun. So it's a pleasure having you on here as well, to be able to thank you personally again. Do you have anything you'd like to shout out real quick before we let you go, and we'll move on to the weeklies?
Shout out to my phone dying after I drove Darth Nub home from Summit and I was lost.
You actually got lost on the way back.
Yes, sir.
Let's go.
How long were you out like in the middle of nowhere for?
Maybe like an hour.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Ramen, Darth Nub doesn't know this, but I'm 2-0 against him all time. So Darth Nub has no idea who I am. Well, he has no clue. This was before my Aegis time. This was before anything. I'm 2-0 against him, only in hyper roll. So, yeah.
All I know is that this Darth Nub guy is already in Challenger, and you are better than him. You have just confirmed it for me.
100% facts. Which you are better than me, which makes you much better than him. Obviously.
Oh, I take that. Oh, no, for sure. That's just a given fact.
Yeah, so if you guys are actually close, if you want to DM him that and just let him know this honey bear guy is so cracked, he's better than you, which makes me better than you. So feel free.
I'm not that close with him. My extent is driving him home, and then I wake up the next morning and he added me on League. And that was the extent of our relationship.
That's really funny. Well done. Yeah, if you ever talk to him again, just let him know that this random honey bear guy is 2-0 against him. So,
yeah, I got you. Don't worry.
Thanks, man. All right, great talking with you, though. We'll talk to you soon, buddy.
Yeah.
Thanks
See
again.
you, man.
All right.
On to the weeklies. That was a hype conversation. I mean, anytime we do these, they go forever.
This is why. Yeah, no. This is why we were sitting next to each other like all day at Summit. It was like we were just. Oh, we're talking about TT. And we just go. And I was like, I messaged both you and him, and I'm like, bro, we got to get going. It's 45 minutes.
I
would love to keep
do
going.
We have another guest lined up?
No, not yet.
Expired. Do you wanna jump on? Because that would be that's my guest of choice.
Oh, sure, yeah.
If Expired is around and wants to jump in, feel free to DM me. I'll jump in a call and I'll drag you down. Because it's perfect time talking about the weeklies. We'll actually talk about weeklies for a second. The actual weekly that happened, the first set 8 weekly of Aegis Esports on Challenger mode. So our weeklies that are back. Valencia in the chat won the first spot, won themselves $50. Well done. I didn't get to watch it. I didn't get to see it. I knew nothing about it until today. And so I'm not gonna.
Yeah, I mean, we were so busy with the.
Yeah,
the
I can't talk about it too much, but I do want to give you a shout out. Well done, guys. Weeklies are back, so if you guys want to jump in the weeklies every single Thursday, hop on in them. We'd love to have you guys. See you guys there. They're a blast. I love TOing them. I love hanging out. I love being in the help desk, seeing people pop in, talk about their scores, watching the scores. It's like a whole night of TFT. So if you're around, hop on in there. And play some games. We'd love to see it. But anything you want to talk about with that before we drag Expired on in?
No, it's I got to talk with Valencia a little bit, both in DMs and then on Twitter. I got to interact. I love when people like get to talk about like the fun time that they had playing in the events. Obviously, again, I wasn't paying attention to it because I was in the charity event.
Yep.
But man, it's always just nice seeing people like say like, hey, I had a good time, because like that's why I again do this. I probably try to say it every single time I come onto this podcast, but man, it's why I do this. I really like being able to see people have a good time that's just not grinding ladder. So I really appreciate the shout out that they did on Twitter. Thank you very much. Yeah.
No.
Without further ado,
we got Expired here, the rat himself. How you doing, Expired?
How's it going, Rat?
Chitter.
Cheddar.
Is that the noise rats make when they want cheese?
Sure, man.
That poll was pretty close. I thought it'd be tied for sure.
It was really close. Yeah, I mean, but overall, like, it pulled away at the end, right? 78%. That's overwhelming.
It's overwhelming that you're a rat. But
I'm gonna have to make a new account. We'll grind ladder with it. We'll say rat.
There you
Probably
go.
taken.
Well, before we actually like dive into the weekly conversation, which is going to be the charity stream, how's your climb going? I mean, I know how your climb's going, but you can tell everybody how your climb's going.
In the lens of snapshot, fine in the lens of like what I actually think, not great. I'm in diamond jail. I don't like it.
Yeah.
But I'm focusing more on putting quality over quantity now, which is something that I need to get used to. So I feel pretty confident and happy on my ladder grind. I feel like where I was 3 or 4 weeks ago before PBE compared to where I am now is night and day.
Good. I mean, you're also like, you're in a good spot, right? Because you're D4. Is that correct?
D4, yeah, most of the way through right now.
So you're chilling in D4 though. Like if you drop a few games, like no big deal. You're still in D4. It's not going anywhere. But now you have an opportunity to talk with a lot of guys who's been there. Big Bro's in chat. Like, you know, we can talk with him, talk to the guys who have pushed through Masters. Be like, all right, what do I got to improve on? Where do I got to go? How do I improve my skills? And I think you're in a great spot to be like, all right, now it's time to improve, not just win, if that makes sense. And I think that's sometimes a hard place to be. It's like, all right, instead of playing 10 games today, I need to play 4 games today, and I need to VOD review 6. And it's like, that sucks.
It's
like,
a
that's
big,
zero
big
fun.
change.
Like, I want to play the video game. I don't want to just watch myself play the video game and then analyze how I did.
The worst part is watching yourself make stupid mistakes every single stage.
But that's like, do you have a coach? I mean, I know you have like a lot of coaches, quote unquote, but do you have one particular person that you keep going to, or no?
Not yet.
Okay.
I just kind of cycle through, right? Seth, Shy Guy, Keynes, etc. The list goes on. There's too many to even name.
Yeah.
Pete too. Like
Pete, August
just talking
has been
to them
in call, probably helping you out
all the time. They're always there.
Yeah, I actually think he's there now. So shout out,
probably.
Shout out to Gold Daddy out there.
I think that's one thing it's good to highlight there, is that it's sometimes best to just talk about TFT, sometimes even more than it is, particularly for this game, because like sometimes it comes down to like mechanics in a game like LoL, or League of Legends, I should say. But when it comes to teamfight tactics, it's just like, you know, sometimes you just need to have conversations about the game and like hear other outside opinions, and now your mind is expanded to hear like, oh, maybe I should think about this angle when I'm going here, because you can get really stuck in a certain way to play the game. And just talking to anybody, like at almost any rank, sometimes can open up like ways to think about the game. Because as long as you're still thinking like logically of like, I understand the concepts of the game, even if they're wrong, quote unquote, you can think that for yourself. But at the very least, you heard like the input and like how their experience has been.
100%. That's been the biggest difference between competitive StarCraft 2 and this for me, like thus far, is the talk it out aspect. There's a lot less theory crafting that went into my days of competing in SC2, and a lot more execution.
Right. It's just like, how good are you at APM? Like, congratulations, you can press the buttons really, really quick and accurately. Good job.
Exactly.
Double thumbs up.
Whoop, whoop.
Yeah. Now here you're just kind of like staring at the game, right? You're like, time to just look at it, or I should say staring at the game, but it's like not executing at the game is maybe the way to phrase it. Is you're just spending a lot of time talking with somebody else, or making a board and being like, what can I slot in here? And you're not even actually in a game, but you are notably getting better at the game if you're doing that consistently, right? But something like StarCraft 2, like you pretty much just need to do it. Like there's nothing else that'll practice that for you, right?
Yeah, when I was working with my coaching team when I was competing, day-to-day like routine or regiment would often look like, okay, we're going to do 3 hours of StarCraft Blink training, and then we're going to play 10 ladder games, and then we're going to do 2 hours of scrims, and then an hour of VOD review, or whatever that may have been that day, right? Yeah. And now it's instead like, okay, the correct thing to do looks like playing like 5 high-quality games on ladder today, and spending the rest of the time looking at those games, and also like theory crafting, building boards, and VOD reviewing other people.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough, right? Because like, if you look at, I don't know, the World Cup's going on, right? The World Cup happened. So you can look at like players of football or soccer or whatever you want to call it, soccer. But if you call it football, you're wrong. Anyways, you can look at them and how much time they actually spend scrimming versus how much time they run through drills and routines. And it's significantly more time running through drills than it is running through scrims. which is crazy. It's crazy to think about. So
Agreed.
I think
it's about isolating.
It really is. It's about figuring it out and moving forward. It's like, all right, let's break down. We had Skip on 2 weeks ago talking about, and Lorence, your question was amazing. Of how was it your question? I think of how important is stage 2? Did you ask that?
Yeah. No, that's what I was thinking. Was like, so what happens when you? Because I'm sure Expired either was here or had watched it again, but like, or just like is wanting to hear the concept in general again. But like what happens when you like mess up your stage 2, particularly at a high level? Like, how much does that change? Because I feel like when I'm playing the game, especially just recently, because I've been playing the set a lot more now, like I just kind of like coast through. Like I almost like brain dead. Like whatever, I'm just gonna play. I'm just gonna play stage 2. Oh no, I rainbow or not rainbow. I Christmas colored my my Christmas lights are up at the top where it's like win loss.
Yeah,
it's green. And it's like whatever. Like I mean, and I still go first in that. But then I like think of somebody like Skip. It's like what happens when you like lose before Krugs after having a 4 streak? Like what does that mean for him? And he's like, oh, it's like, what was the percent? I can't remember. It was like he's like 60% of the game is like decided off of that.
Yeah, it was basically devastating in his eyes. And which like this is the one sample size, right? I'm sure get another pro in here and they'll look at it and be like, nah, he's way off. But the fact is of like how important it is to look at the different stages and see like what mistake, what small thing did I make during this window, and how do I fix that? And be like, every single game, like I'm slamming stage 2, I'm slamming stage 2, I'm slamming stage 2. It's like get that in your mind. It's like how good is that repetition moving forward? So big picture again, looking back at it, I think you're doing the right thing of stepping away and looking more at how is everything going on as a whole, basically, and putting it all together. But we gotta move on because we're gonna be here forever. Yo, how are you recovering from the charity stream, man? Once again, thank you for being in the charity stream. And then 2, how are you recovering? How was it? Give me the whole experience and the recovery.
The whole experience and the recovery is like practically nothing, just a good night's sleep, and I was back on my feet again.
What? That's not for me. I mean, yes, I needed that, but like I still got whipped cream on my monitors places. I'm like, where'd that whipped cream come from? Like I didn't see that when I was cleaning up, and it's there. I find it. How are you not finding this?
The 2 days, the day or so after, I definitely had to just keep like Clorox wipes handy so that I could wipe down my monitors because I kept seeing new spots where there were whipped cream. I'd wipe down the whole thing and I'm like, oh, okay, I got all of it. And then later I'd be scrolling and not use light mode on a website for an article or TFT, and I would notice, oh, there's more right there. Great.
Dang it.
Back to the lemon scented wipes. The experience itself was awesome, though. It was a lot of fun. August Gold Daddy was my teammate. There was one game in particular where it worked out that I sent him in the most strategical 8th possible to advance.
Feels good.
Feels good. We got so lucky. And then that was good practice still. It was still for charity and it was still for fun and I had a blast, but some of those sell board moments definitely improved my critical thinking on the fly.
That's actually pretty valid. It was, I think, the funnest thing that happened that entire event. There are multiple things that were great. But one thing I got to highlight was so to give context behind this, we're sitting in call with Container and he's like, why don't we just like have everybody sell the board? Like everybody, and don't tell and then we're like, what if we don't tell anybody else that they're all selling the board? We just go into their calls and say, you have to sell your board. So we like on the fly, we're like, everyone's going to sell their board and nobody else is going to know that there's like anyone else had to sell their board.
Yes.
And so like everyone thought, or maybe they figured it out, but like they might have like thought like, oh, we have to sell both of our boards, and then all of a sudden you go look at everyone else's and everyone's rebuilding their board. And just like thinking about that, kind of like how you just mentioned it, where like you have to think about like, okay, what am I going to do now? I have a lot of gold. You probably, unless you rolled down, and that would be super veg. But like you have like 100 and something gold, right? And now you can rebuild your board, and it makes you think about like, where am I right now? What can I hit? I'm level 7. Put all these things out, right?
But in that, you have 25 seconds. You have to build your board in 25 seconds in order to beat Aurelian Soul, which was the challenge. It's like, and one person lost. I don't remember who lost, but it was like, okay, rebuild your board or you will lose this round. It's like, you will lose this neutral round, which is unbelievably massive.
Yeah.
So,
my proudest moment, that entire charity event, aside from feeling proud for like pulling a donation of $50 to sell my board, was also recovering from a full board sell at ASOL and then still top 3.
Yes, that was hype.
Yeah.
That was big because you were the first board sell, I think. You were the first ever board sell. Like, that was big hypes that you pulled it back.
That made me feel warm and fuzzy. Both to pull it back and also the fact that I wow, I had influence on $50 going to charity. Nice. Let's go.
That's really what good. I think. One thing I was really liking about the concept of it was, it made people look at the score sheets and they're like, we need this person to lose. Goodbye, your board expired. See you later. And it was just like that was like one of the funnest parts about it. Was just seeing like that could influence it. And again, maybe I'd already mentioned it, but I want to shout it out again, regardless if we didn't. We did over half of the donations total. I think we were at like 1,700 right now, unless people have donated more. And we did over $850 on our day alone. So thank you all again.
Almost 9, yeah.
Yeah, and that was part of it. It was people like Expired playing way too good, needing to sell their board, or people like shout out Silver Mad King played way too freaking good.
Way too good.
We had to like just chop him down
and
multiple
he still
times.
Won.
Yeah, he didn't bot 4. He bought 3, or he top 3 to every single game. So sheesh, but yeah, that
Insane.
was the highlight.
Silver Mad King is not silver.
No, he is not. He's mad and he's a king.
Yeah, the counter make him Jax 3, and then Ramen Blitz shouts out.
That was actually I might talk about this again, but that was Jax 3, sell Jax 3 into another Jax 3. Like, that's when you know, like, you can't beat this guy.
Yeah.
I wasn't in that lobby, but if I was in that lobby, I would have given up. That would have broke me. I'm not like a breakable guy in normal lobbies, but like if I see somebody sell a Jax 3 and then rebuild a Jax 3, I'm broken. I'm done. I'm FF. I don't care if I can beat his board. I am so done.
Call that a 6-star Jax.
Like, I feel wrecked inside. Like, no.
Emotional damage.
I don't think I'd play the rest of the day. Like, if it wasn't like a charity stream, right? But like, if this guy accidentally sold a Jax 3 and then rebuilt it on ladder and then was beating people with it, I'd be like, I'm done. I will never be as good as this. I cannot play anymore. I need to go to bed or something. Like, I need to take a rest.
Yeah, clearly, because one thing I got to shout out is, let's take a look here. HoneyBear went 8th, 5th, 6th, 7th.
Let's go!
That's that guy. And do you know what the prediction was? Was that Lorence is not going to top 4 a single game. And you know what I did? I did it 3 out of the 4 games.
You know who didn't top 4 a game? This guy.
I had to shout that out. I had to. You got to eat your words, my friend.
That's great. I love that.
That was what actually gave me a lot of confidence. Something kind of relating to meta news was like, people told me like, you played like pretty good that like yesterday or whenever they had talked to me, like they're like, you did pretty well, Lorence, good job. Those are tough lobbies, and I was like, you know what, I should probably grind ladder again. And I went from, I think, gold 4 all the way up to right now I'm hovering around plat 3, plat 2 in like 20 games
specifically, because I know your exact. You were 61 LP. I am currently the same rank, plat 3, 55 LP, and it hurts me to my very core.
I mean, there's like still some things I'm messing up on, but it's feeling really good. So I guess how does it feel for yourself, Expired? Like coming into this set after playing all of like set 7.5, and now you're like, I'm gonna grind this out. Does this set feel like it's a good set to like grind right now?
Aside from a particular floating cat on a book, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you and Ramen would get along real well.
Yeah,
we do get along. I feel shoehorned into playing reroll more often than I should, and I should really just be leaning on my own flexibility as a player instead. but I'll see a really good what I think is a really good reroll, and I'm like, okay, I'll do it. And then I'm contested by 4 other people, and I go 7th.
Or you could be like me, not be contested at all on reroll Gangplank, not hit it, and then at the same time, there's 2 other people in my game. This is me being salty. My one salty thing for the entire podcast, I get one every single time, is there's two other people, not just one person, but 2 other people at the same time as I'm rolling at 5 to try hit my 3-star Gangplank. 2 other people hit 2-star Talia at level 7. And I was just like, are you kidding me? And then I go 8th. Surprise. But it was, Mort Dog Y. It took a small break after that. So, but that's how it goes. I don't know. I feel like maybe I should stop rerolling as much. I'm actually not having as much success with rerolls. I'm having more success with transferring my board into later games, which is really not how I usually play the game. Which feels nice, feels good.
For sure. Expired. We do gotta move on a little bit here, but any last comments or anything you want to shout out?
See you guys in ACL, and I'll see you on day 1 regionals.
Whoop whoop.
Darn tootin'. That's my guy.
All right, dude. We'll talk to you soon, though, man. We'll probably see you in summer camp eventually.
Definitely. Thanks for having me, guys.
See you, man. Sure. All right, guys. We gotta move on. Lawrence, I love that. Say any last thing you want to talk about with the charity stream?
I mean, I love repeating myself sometimes, as people have maybe
broken record over here. Keep it going.
But I'm broken record. But I am so proud of us. Like, really, like, came together and just blew not just me away, but blew Ivar away. This is something really dear to Ivar's heart. Yes. He loves this charity, and us donating that much. He messaged me and said, "Do you think we're going to make 1,000?" I'm like, "I think we'll hit 1,000." I've had people talking to me at Summit about the charity stream. I think we'll make it, bro. We go and hit it almost ourselves. Still in shock. So thank you again. I must say that. So and it was just fun. Like, it was a fun time. I had such a great time playing with all of you. So thanks again. I got pied 1,000,000 times, but oh well.
Yeah, we're actually gonna watch. We're probably not gonna watch it. To be honest. Probably not gonna have. We're gonna watch. So Container, shout out to Container, put together all the pieings. We'll post that to YouTube so that you guys can watch it.
Yeah, and I can drop that in chat too.
Yep. So if you guys want to check it out, those are all the pies. Again, big shout out to Container. We'll post it on YouTube so people can see it. But yeah, it was a really cool event. Again, for me personally, one of the most stressful times I've ever had here at Aegis, just because of how many things could go wrong. There were so many pieces moving that I'm like, holy crap, everything's gonna fail. So it was really cool to watch it all come together. But not only that, like, the community just pulling together for an amazing event to raise a lot of money for charity, to just have fun. You know, it was one of those things I was nervous, like, okay, if we ask somebody to sell their board, are they actually going to sell it? Are people going to be too competitive? Like, how's this going to happen? And we never had a single gripe the entire time. It was, hey, you got to sell your board. Insta sell. No questions. Gone. Nobody said anything. You know, we even had, there's a donation that came through for Andrew D. And Lawrence jumped down there as fast as he could to tell them, hey, you have to do this. And they had just barely made it in. And he was sad that he couldn't sell his unit.
Yeah.
For that. He's like, I missed it.
He's like, oh man, I can hear it in his voice.
Fix this.
He was like, oh, the round's already started.
And I'm like, that's amazing. Like, these players who are so unbelievably competitive. And like I'm a Masters player. I'm a decent player. And it's like, I'm getting rolled in these lobbies. Like, that's how competitive these lobbies were. I'm getting dumpstered. But that just goes to show you how competitive these lobbies actually were. And it was like, as competitive as it was, no one took the competition higher than the charity. The charity was always number one. Everyone had that same idea that it is charity first, competition second. And I don't think you'll find that anywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
It's so hard to find that level of that level of player. And that was really cool that, we had 2 full lobbies of players that felt the exact same way.
Sheesh. And we had fills. We had
That was great.
Shout out to Rena also for filling in like that.
Huge.
And we just had a couple of hiccups here and there. I think like the broadcast Protroid's internet went out and we just like screw it, we'll have it covered. And we just covered things on the fly, and it's like, you know what? We're making this happen.
And it did.
Yeah, and I won't keep going. I want to be talking just like all the other
we'll talk forever.
But like we'll talk forever about it. But like, yeah, it's what you said. That's what I'll say.
Yeah, and the back end was actually really funny. How many things actually... I don't know if people who actually watched it saw all the things that went wrong. So many things went wrong. So many things went wrong. It was like... But it was amazing that things went wrong, because it was like, things went wrong and it was like, hey, Lawrence, you have to do this now. It was like, cool.
Are you kidding me?
Sounds great.
Yeah.
It's like...
Dude, casting is impossible.
Yeah. It was like, I'm on the analyst desk and I'm like, I wonder who's taking the spots. And I call out who's taking the spots. And then just before I transition it over, like Ivar's in my ear and he's like, no, HoneyBear, you're casting the next game. I'm like, I'm pitching it to myself. I guess I'm casting. We'll see on the other side. I'm like, what? How did this happen?
Sure.
Like, are you sure I'm not playing? Like, JoJo's on the analyst desk in a game. Like trying to win with a partner. I didn't even know he was going. Jeez. Wonderful things. Yeah. Could talk forever on it. Let's slide on over. Lawrence, I'll basically leave this whole section up to you. I'll pitch in a little bit. ACL, AML, and when we get the new graphics, AAL. But Lawrence, what the heck's going on with these leagues?
Cancel. Boom. Podcast done. Just kidding.
Gone. Well played, everybody. We'll see you on the next one.
Transfer back.
Or not.
You got me on that almost.
Or not. Anyways.
No. So the let's see if I can recuperate myself. So on the 21st is our early acceptance. So to kind of reiterate what that is, we're going to be starting to send out acceptances for that based on how many signups we have. Probably in like groups of 8. And if you've already signed up, you should expect to at least hear a message from us. I'll probably try to at least like let everyone know where things are at if they're not accepted already. But that's going to be happening here on Wednesday night, or like we'll send them out on Thursday because the deadline is on the 21st and start sending out 22nd. So that's what we're looking at for early acceptances again. Then once it starts moving on a little bit, we have the last signups available for the January 3rd is when things stop. So if you haven't signed up by the January 3rd, you gotta maybe message us and just pray that there's a spot. But that's when things close there as well, the night of the 3rd for January. And then the payment deadline will then be that Saturday. Obviously, if people have issues, just send us a message. Like, we want to have people participate. I love these things. I want people that I know to come and have a good time. Money is obviously, it needs to happen so people have like the prizing and all of our production can happen.
Yes.
But first and foremost, I want people to be able to come, play, and do something outside of ladder. That's why I do this. And just talk to me.
Yes. We do personally 100% believe this is the future of professional TFT. Wholeheartedly. I know I say it. I don't know if people actually take me serious, but I'm dead serious. This is the future. Not just our league, but other leagues as well. And if there's another league, I really hope they survive. And I hope they push forward. It's really difficult to run these things. And I really hope they succeed. Boys' League, shout out to Boys' League. I think it was a phenomenal league. I really hope it succeeds. And there are a few other leagues that are popping up. I really hope they succeed because TFT as a whole needs this. And to Lawrence's point, if money is the issue, please reach out. Don't just say, I'm not going to compete because I can't afford it, or I'm not going to compete because I think it is too expensive. Please reach out. We would love to help in any possible way we can. We can't just give out money to people. We're not made of money, but we can help you out in any way possible. Setting up your stream, getting you resources, assisting you with other people who are maybe a little bit more financially set. I mean, like, hey, this guy's in trouble, type deal, but wants to compete. Everyone goes through this. And so at some point in your life, you're not going to have money for something, whatever it is. And like, you're going to go through it. And so if that's you for this league, please reach out. We want to help as much as we can. And if you hear it, if you're in chat and you're like, that ain't me, I'm loaded. But you hear it, reach out to that person. Don't let that person go down. Like, bring them up. At anything, just message Lorence or I. Just be like, hey, this person didn't want me to talk about it, but I'm going to let it go and I'm going to talk about it. Please help them. We'll be like, heck yes. Heck yes. We will definitely reach out to that person and do anything that we can to support them. So, again, PSA, make sure you help your fellow TFT members because we love this esport and we want it to grow more than anything else. So,
vote.
Lorence, I have no idea where you're at with your points, but
no, that's basically everything I wanted to say too. No, yeah, and so then payment deadline, like we had mentioned. So again, reach out if you can't. And then after that, the leagues will start that next week. So it'll be January 14th and 15th. The expected times are still the same for 3:30 p.m. EST, both for AAL and AML on the 14th. We're expecting to have them go at the same time. Obviously, you can't play in both. So that would be our logic there of having them go at the same time. It's still a good time to host these. So we were like, just put them both on the same day. It's on a weekend. Prime time for playing games is. And then on Sunday, we got the Premier Challenger League. We've got Champions League, of course, is the actual name. On the 15th, also at 3:30 p.m. EST. So that's when we're restarting. The 14th and 15th is when the leagues kick off. So got a couple of things going on there for the key dates. I should probably go update them in key dates section here in the Discord.
You can do that later, though. Don't do it now.
Yeah, I'll do it later. I'll do it right now. Yeah.
We'll do it later.
Yeah. But that's when they'll start. So that's what we've got on that. If anyone has any questions on those, I'm totally open book. We have that released PowerPoint about our thought processes. I'm totally wanting everyone to feel comfortable about like where their money is going, what their time is being spent.
Yes.
I want people to think that this is worth my time. So and money, obviously.
Correct.
Both of them. So yeah, that's what we got there on that. If you had anything else to add there, HoneyBear.
Nope, nothing whatsoever. Maybe I do. I don't know. Let me think. Yes, I do. Yes. Get your friends to sign up. We want this league to be amazing. Have everybody sign up. If you're bronze 2 and you're like, nah, I don't know, sign up for the AAL. Learn, get practice, have fun, become a part of the community, not just the Aegis community, but the TFT community as a whole. Because as much as everybody in this chat and everybody who plays in our leagues are a part of the Aegis community, you guys are just the prestige members of the TFT community, if you will. There's not a single person in any of our leagues that that we don't want here. And if we didn't want you here, you wouldn't be here. So if you're here, we want you here. Big shout out.
I mean, I'll shout it out here right now too. Obviously, I would wish people talk in our Discord, but that's just not always going to be the case.
Correct.
Joining our leagues allows you to get interaction with people like the Crazy Pete, Ramen Blitz, all these people here in chat. I'm sure Mashup Maloney is loving it here. He's talking. He's getting to cast. Just interacting with people and starting to join places like summer camp or water park. Just meeting all these people and talking about TFT. It's that's why I love this stuff. Is you get to interact with people that love the game that you love.
And you had a tournament just the other day that you were a part of, didn't you?
Sorry?
You had a tournament just the other day that you were a part of from the community.
Yeah, Indie Alex.
Alex.
A couple of us got to do that. I got wrecked, but it's just what happens? Ooh, I get wrecked every single time. But no, I think just being able to meet new people and have new places to go and talk about the game makes you invested in the game, makes you care about it a little more. So I think even if you think that they can't maybe compete in an AML type scenario, that's what we want AAL to be. We want anybody that's again open all the way diamond and below. If you have a friend that you want to try to get into TFT, get them to jump into AAL. It's free to enter. We're going to try to have it be as not prestigious, but like as competitive as possible,
yes.
while getting people in. I really want those people that are like, I don't feel like I'm that great at the game. We want those people that are gold to come in.
Yes.
Like Jojo Karate had said, they like this pushes you to care about the game. You're like, I've got something to look forward to. I have to play. I have to do better. Maybe not everyone does. Some people maybe take it a little more casually, but this allows you to have that thing to like, this is what I want. I want to win AAL. And it'll push that gold player, and then they'll be diamond by the end of the set. They might not win, but they push from gold to diamond. I remember that climb. I'm still a diamond player, but like I used to be gold forever for the first like 3 sets, and then I pushed up to diamond, and it was like so gratifying. And I hope that people can join AAL and have that same experience.
Yeah, or make it to AML next set, or make it to again, shout out Boys of the League. Make it to Boys of the League next set, or make it to one of these higher tier leagues. Like, this is a stepping stone. Maybe you're an amazing player in gold, but you just work 80 hours a week and you don't have time to. Come win the AEL. Let us know you're here. Like, it's 4 games a week. Come chill, win, and be like, holy cow, this bronze guy is ridiculously good.
The best bronze player ever.
This bronze player is cracked. Get in the community, start playing against the players that are strong. Get into some in-houses someday. Yeah. Why don't you want to slide on into awards?
Yes, sir.
Let's rapid fire. Do you have your high and low?
High and low. Let's go with high. I haven't done specific ones yet before. But I'll shout out Reina. She has been pushing really hard to play in our leagues in AML, and got just went nuts at the end of the set to try and push that. And that's the thing I was just mentioning. I love being able to see people find that push, care about the game a little more, and like, I need to hit master because I want to play in AML. Like, I got to do it. And then when you see that happen, that's a feels good. So I'm excited to see how she does in this coming set. So that's my high of the week.
Shout out to Big Bro Keynes as well. I know Keynes has been helping her, so shout out to Big Bro Keynes.
Yeah, I guess I'll pop off my low roll as well.
No, I'll take high roll. Oh yeah,
I gotcha.
All right, my high roll, cop out, charity stream. It really touched my heart that you guys were all there for it. Like, honestly, blew me away. I didn't know what to expect, and so I didn't really have like massive expectations. But I don't even think the expectations I could have put. I think you guys would have blown them away. So just well done. That was like huge. That was absolutely massive. Thank you so much for everybody. If you watched, thank you for watching. If you played, thank you for playing. If you donated, thank you for donating. If you jumped into Discord and said, hey, I won't be there and I can't be there and I can't donate, but great for you guys for putting it on, or hey, that's cool. Like, even those were seen. So thanks so much. Low roll. Hit it.
Low roll. Touched on it earlier. Low roll is you. You low rolled all of your games at the charity event, so I got to give it to you.
Well done, Honey Bear. Let's go.
Let's go.
Low roll. That stupid cat. Anyways, question and answers. We'll dive into the one question that we had. I think there was another one that I wanted to touch on. But oh goodness. Now I gotta remember how I wanted to phrase it.
Was it the Mashup Maloney's one? Or
Mashup Maloney one, yeah.
Yeah, no, that was like the board simulator.
That was it. Board simulator.
Yeah.
Do you want to take it away, or you want me to?
Yeah, I'll dump right into that.
Go ahead.
So like, it's just the like, I think if you've heard the conversations before, this is gonna sound like broken, just as usual. But like, man, it's just, there's a certain level of novelty in this game of you don't really know what's the best, and when nobody else knows what's the best, I think that really just makes the game stay good for really long. Because like, particularly the way I looked at it was, I think being able to use it as a teaching tool is great. I talked to Silver Mad King about this, and he's like, I loved using this as a teaching tool.
Yes,
it's great. However, that's not always going to be the case. People are going to manipulate it. People are going to abuse it. And my number one fear of something like that was that people would hook it up to a website and be like somehow put your board into it and be like, this is where you need to go, and it'll like solve it for you, right? It'll have done the simulation so many times that because like you just put this board simulator and just run it, because it's like a program itself, and it just runs, does a million plus like billion simulations, and now it's like, this is what you need to do here. And when it's solved like that, the game loses its luster, I think, and it's just not, it's not the way the game should be played. And you'll, as Mort had very eloquently said, if you give players these sorts of tools, they will game the fun out of the game, or something like that. They'll something like that. It was like they'll something the fun out of the game. And that's exactly what I think would happen, and I would just rather it not be there.
Yeah, I mean, I think you nailed it, but I think like the big thing is like, would you actually be playing then? Like, you wouldn't. It would just be bot versus bot. Whoever's bot could move fast enough.
Right.
Or whoever could input into the bot fast enough of like, this is my board now. Like, quick input this into the bot, and whoever could input it fast enough was the winner. And that's no fun. Like, that takes all of the strategy, that takes all of the skill out of the game. It's it really could destroy like the whole ecosystem of like, you know, even showing what's optimal. You know, if you can fast run the simulation, you can be like, okay, I have a Zac and an Echo. I put Zac in, run the simulation. Do I win? No. Okay, I'm putting Echo. I win? Yes. Instant put in Echo. It's like, I don't want that, because I want to be able to think about it. I want the other person to think about it. And if I can outthink them, I want to be able to win. And if it's just a bot simulation of who wins, based on who's fast enough and putting it into a bot, that sucks. But also like the players who have the full-time jobs but are cracked at the game are no longer good. They're trash comparatively, because they are just a step behind, because they can't put the 80 hours into the game. And then you get these players who live and breathe TFC. And it's like, okay, they just win. Like they can put 80 hours in and they win. You can't beat that. You cannot beat the time that can be put in.
I like to compare this to like the current tools that we already have of what's the best tool, or a tool. What's the best item that a unit has? Like, what's its best win rate? And like relating it to that, I think those sorts of things like tactics tools is actually okay. Because it still allows you to get information, but you still need to think. You still need to be like, do I really need this bloodthirster here? Or do I need to put a Hodge maybe to like increase like my damage output, and get like, there's like different give and takes of like, don't just go straight by the numbers, but if you have this sort of simulation thing, it is going to be by the numbers.
Yes.
You're just gonna be like, oh, I just put bloodthirster here every single time, because this has been run 3,000 times. This exact scenario got ran 3,000 times. So yeah, I just think that's pretty much the nail in the coffin for me.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like, okay, is 3 Aegis stronger in this board? It's like, statistically, it tells me yes, it is. But I look on the other side, and I'm 5th in the lobby, and the top 4 is all AD.
Yep.
Why in the world would I ever run that? Like, that's just, it makes no sense, even though by the numbers it does. And I think having that still in the game is extremely necessary. Not just being able to AFK. There are AFK comps. Don't get me wrong, and I love them. Yeah, I love finding the AFK. As the Ezreal reroll player, I would frequently. I have a second computer by me, no monitor for it or anything, but like I would take that second computer, I would bring it upstairs, and I would be like making poppers. Like, I'm making jalapeno poppers, like putting them all together, playing my Ezreal reroll. Why? I don't have to look at the screen. I can be flipping my poppers right and left, and Ezreal is winning the game. You love to see it. And I don't need to play. I don't need to look. And like, that's healthy for one comp if it's not that great. It's like, but for the total game to be perfectly done out like that, it's like, I'm not sure. Yeah,
I don't know how we do this, man. I think we both really just love TFT. We're like, weird, huh? It's like we get into this, and it's like, okay, it's just gonna be us two. Yep. Obviously, we had the 2 guests on again, but like we get talking. But it's so funny to me that we're like, all right, this is supposed to be like an hour. When we were first doing this, when we were starting to make this, we're like, okay, so we're like scheming out the timings. What do we think we're going to do here? What about this? And we're like, okay, it's probably be about an hour, maybe a little less if we don't have.
Can we make it an hour? Let's go 45 to an hour. I don't know if we can fully make it an hour.
I don't know if we. Yeah, I was like, and then here we are, like an hour and a half in, and we didn't even have like a true guest. We've
had to cut ourselves off. We're like, Expired, I know you got 5 more points.
Sorry about that.
But you gotta go, dude.
I really wanted Expired on for longer. Like I really want, like I hope Expired's here still so I can hear this. Like I really wanted him on longer, but it was like, oh, we just had Ramen on for like 35 minutes.
Like he's freaking gotta go.
I was like, we gotta get going.
We gotta move.
Because we got even now an hour and a half.
We'll do maybe this will actually lead into the outro. Did we have any other questions you wanted to answer real fast? Have you saw anything?
There was like the thing for the also shout out to the TFT players in the last thing we ran, the rock paper scissors tournament.
Yes.
We had 2 of the community members, Grape and Joe.
Yes, Joe.
Known as Separa. If that's how I would pronounce it, I honestly don't even know, man. Let me know if it was correct, Separa. But you 2 made it to the finals. I almost made it to quarters, which would have given me $50, but that's okay. It was fun while it lasted. So give that a shout out too for Container.
Now I was hardcore Grape, just because I've hung out with Grape more, but I'm extremely happy that you also made it. Just because it was a fun event. It was so fun. Like I was stressed sitting here. I'm in like the broadcast call waiting for Lorence, and I'm like losing it over here. Oh my gosh! Like and it was funny because like there were a few times where I got like not heated, right? Because it's just rock paper scissors. But I would look at it and be like, "How did he choose rock? What is he? Is he dumb? Is he dumb?
Rock.
Is he
I'm
dumb?
done.
Are you
done.
stupid? Like, what are you doing choosing rock?
You chose rock again?
Like, are you kidding me? I can't with this guy. I'm done. I'm done. I can't work for this guy. It was fun. It was what a good event. To end it out. But yeah, shout out to you guys for making it to the end. I also played. Nobody remembers because I got out in the second round. I was there. I showed up. Yeah, but huge congrats on making it, showing the TFT community what's up.
Players, am I right?
Good though. On the outro.
Yes, sir.
Sweet. For the outro, I want to talk about us. The Aegis Rolldown podcast is done. This is it. This is the final episode of the Aegis Rolldown podcast. I know you guys didn't see this coming. A lot of people had kind of thought about it, but this is the final episode of the Aegis Rolldown podcast ever on Twitch, because we're moving to YouTube. So we are on our way to YouTube, and you guys can catch all the Aegis Rolldown podcasts on YouTube. I can't wait to see you guys over there.
But you didn't even tell me that you were going to do it like this. You had me going. I was like, where's he going?
This is it. We're done. Somebody snag a clip of that for me. Make it as best as possible. Send it. And
I don't know but people had to.
We'll just clip it and send it to people.
I was dropped. I was like, wait.
Wait a minute. He didn't tell me about this. Like, Honeybear's having a kid and he's gone? He's ending the podcast? It's over? No.
Potato ban.
We're sliding on over though. We are it's actually super huge news. So we are going full-time YouTube. So we'll be streaming the Aegis Rolldown podcast over there. We'll be hanging out over there. They will be every single Sunday. Just like normal. However, coming into these next couple of weeks, you are going to see some changes. The main change for the next couple of weeks is we will not be live. We will not be live. So we'll be recording these beforehand to give them to you guys. One of the main reasons for that, next Sunday is Christmas. We're not going live on Christmas. We're doing our own separate things. Lawrence can do his thing. I'm going to do my thing with my family. We're taking Christmas off, so we will be pre-recording this, but uploading it on YouTube as a premiere. I will probably be watching it with you guys. I won't be, and I'll probably still be in a hoodie, let's be honest. But I'll be on my couch with my wife, with my puppy, maybe with my child. Who knows? Probably on the couch watching it with you guys and hanging out. We'll be talking about that more and more. And same thing with the one after that. So the first of the year, that's New Year's. We're not going live on New Year's. We're actually going to pre-record it, and we'll all get to watch it and hang out together. So the big thing with this, and I have no idea how we're going to do this yet, but the big thing is I still want a question and answer section to answer your questions or topics that you guys want.
Try to make it happen.
So we need those somewhere else so we can talk about them beforehand. So if you have questions, DM me, put them in chat, put them somewhere. Not this chat, but like Discord chat, so I can see it later. But figure out some way to where we can talk about topics that you guys want us to talk about, and we'll go from there. But yeah, we are full-time YouTube. That does mean AML, ACL, AAL, if we're doing any broadcast, all on YouTube. The Rolldown podcast on YouTube. Everything's going to be on YouTube. If you guys aren't a part of the YouTube, make sure you subscribe. Lawrence, you want to drop the link in the chat?
No.
You're the link guy. But subscribe to the YouTube channel if you guys have not yet already. And I'm really excited. I'm really excited to see you guys over there and to build out that platform. I'm going to miss Twitch. I think we have an amazing community over here. But, talking with all the executives, Lawrence, myself, plus the entire TFT staff. If you've ever seen them on the staff channel, they're here. They've talked to us about this. And we pretty much unanimously agree that this is the best choice for us, is to move to YouTube. So, can't wait to see you guys over there. Lawrence, anything for outro before I really piece this out?
Actually, outro. No, sir. Thanks again all for stopping by. I know it's a little later in the day, but thank you all very much for coming out. It's one of my favorite things to do, just being able to see everyone out here and interact with people playing TFT or that love playing TFT. Can't speak, but I just love it. So thank you again for showing up.
Have a great night, guys. We'll see you guys next Sunday. You guys have a great one. Peace out, everybody.
Bye-bye.